Hello, Scorpios, and welcome to your June 2026 monthly horoscope. My name is Justina. Welcome to my channel. If you're a returning viewer, welcome back. All right, so here today we are going to look at the events happening in the month of June, and I'll tell you how the events of June will influence your life on a deeper level. So here I follow Western astrology tropical zodiac, and this horoscope is most accurate for your rising sign. However, you can also watch it for your moon sign or your sun sign if you wish, just to get a bigger picture and to get a wider perspective upon your life. So thank you so much. And we start with a beautiful influence, and this is Jupiter and Venus and Jupiter conjunction in Cancer. So a brand new cycle of these two planets. And here Venus and Jupiter conjoin at 25 degrees of Cancer. Cancer is the ninth house. So of course, many of you know I'm also a Scorpio rising, so I'm actually quite excited because this month all these major events activate my natal placement. So have a look if you also will have an activation of your natal placement in your birth chart, because this indicates that something is moving forward, something is happening. And I know things can feel stagnant, especially nowadays when the world is changing so much at such a fast pace. It can feel quite confusing at times. So here 4 degrees of Cancer, and that's happening of course in the month of June, on the 9th of June. All right, so of course, these are two very beneficial energies, harmonious energies. Jupiter is the planet of growth, abundance, expansion. Venus is the planet of love, relationships, beauty. And they conjoin in the sign of Cancer, in your ninth house of travel, of higher learning, life philosophy. So this is a really beautiful influence that can have a positive impact upon your area of travel, upon your area of growth, self-growth, self-development as well. And this is a very nurturing energy, which could bring some positive news or outcomes for you in terms of some educational achievements or some legal matters, maybe passport, visa application, for example. Now, this could be also connected to a beautiful trip, some connections, workshops that could really open your eyes and could make you more in tune with your purpose. This could be also connected to a new connection or some influential connection, or maybe you'll find someone influential, because the ninth house is also connected to people that we admire. So maybe this could be a day when you might either meet your mentor, for example, someone that you look up to, or come across someone that feels very someone very wise. So when I actually said that, I thought about perhaps, a possibility to attend a book launch. Moving forward, on the 15th, we've got a new moon happening in the sign of Gemini at 25 degrees. So have a look if you have any placements at around 25 degrees in your 8th house. What's happening there? Because this means you'll be under a greater influence of this new moon. New moons are connected to new beginnings. New moons are connected to fresh energies. And Gemini is the sign of duality. It's a mutable sign, earth sign as well. And this energy here in the house of transformation, in the house of deep and profound energies, but also the house of investments, the house of inheritance, shared and joint resources as well. So something in this area of life is now being activated. And this is something here, there's some kind of new beginning potential for a new beginning, a new dynamic. Maybe this is about a possibility to deepen your existing connection. Maybe you're entering a partnership, collaboration of some kind. Maybe this is about an opportunity that may come through another person, because with the 8th house energies, very often opportunities, financial opportunities come through others. Some collaborations, some contracts, this sort of dynamics could be very much the case. pay attention to what comes up. It's quite of a complex, it's a mysterious energy, because it's not a straightforward area of the birth chart. It's not the sixth house, so we know it's your lifestyle, your health, your self-improvement. The seventh house, your relationships, contracts you have with other people. But with the eighth house, it's not linear, same as the 12th house. It's not linear. It's something deep. This could be about some that internal transformation going on, and you might not be fully aware of how it's going to manifest. But it's about the transformation. It's about something to do also with money, investments, money that doesn't come through your regular monthly or weekly income. So and of course with Scorpio ascendant and the eighth house being traditionally associated with Scorpio, something might be happening underneath the surface, and you might only realize what it is after this new moon is over. Now, Chiron moves into Taurus on the 19th of June, and that's your seventh house of partnerships, of your relationships, of love and marriage. So here, Chiron, the wounded healer, it's a big shift. We haven't had that for years, since 2018 when Chiron entered Aries. So here, Chiron is an asteroid, and in the sign of Taurus, the fixed earth sign connected to our comforts in life, to material, financial, security, stability. That's your seventh house. So you know what? I was bracing myself for Saturn in Taurus that will be in 2 years. And I remember this transit when my husband went through it. And, it wasn't the easiest time. And I was like, okay, 2 more years and it's coming to my seventh house. But now Chiron is going to be here. And what is it going to bring? I feel like this energy, this Chiron transit, generally this is a chance for healing the wounds connected to relationships, friendships. Think about those early life friendships, because when we are children, we've got this really strong need very often, what I see in my children and other children, is that there is this strong need to have a best friend, and then later in life, this best friend is replaced by a partner, a life partner. So since we are children, since we are young people, we have a very strong need to connect to another. And it starts with those early life experiences, with our friendships. And that's when also those early wounds are created with those friendship dynamics, fallouts, betrayals. And here with Chiron moving into the seventh house, this is when those unhealed wounds might come up to the surface, giving us a chance to heal them, let go, release them. So this is a slow moving energy. It's a fixed sign. Taurus is a fixed sign. So pay attention to what comes up during this time. Your approach to love and relationships might change during this time as well. And see what thoughts and feelings come up during this time, because this is a very short influence. It's a preview, if you will. It's a preview of Chiron in Taurus happening between the 19th of June until the late August, early September. So take notes, journal if you can. It will be very helpful when Chiron comes here next year more permanently. All right, so let's move forward on the 28th. We've got Mars entering your 8th house, where we had a new moon here on the 15th of June. So Mars, of course, speeds things up, creates that feeling of momentum, and it generally brings a lot of motivational, courageous energy. Now, Mars in the 8th house feels pretty comfortable because Mars is the traditional ruler of Scorpio. So here with Mars transiting your 8th house, this is a fantastic time for addressing any issues connected to any debts, loans you may have, any financial struggles, even with credit card repayments, for example. Mars could bring solutions. Just try to focus on one thing at a time, because with Mars in Gemini, the energy might feel slightly scattered. Mars in the 8th house also increase our sense of passion, the need to connect, blend our energies with another. And at the same time, Mars in the 8th house could also push any contracts, negotiations forward. So as I mentioned during the new moon in Gemini a bit earlier, that the 8th house is connected to these opportunities that come through others, financial opportunities, work-related opportunities. With Mars here, Mars could push things forward for you and make it happen. Now, at the same time, with Mars in the 8th house, because the ruler of Gemini, Mercury, will be retrograde as of the 29th of June for 3 weeks. Generally, though, those first 3 weeks of Mars in Gemini transit could be slightly tricky, because it could be a time when you might be reviewing, reassessing, evaluating your investments, how your finances, for example, are shared within your household, for instance, whether things are shared equally or whether something, finances, resources, whether something needs to change. This is also, the 8th house is also connected to power dynamics within our relationships, issues connected to control, jealousy, behavioral patterns. So here, these sort of dynamics, these sort of themes, patterns could be also something that you might be reviewing, reassessing, especially if they resurface during these first 3 weeks of July, more or less. But here, if we look at Mercury retrograde starts on the 29th of June, and this energy starts at 26 degrees of Cancer. So yet again, we are returning to the energies that were activated here on the 9th of June, when we had Venus and Jupiter conjunction. Here we've got Mercury turning retrograde in your 9th house. So this is a time for reviewing your direction in your life, the direction that you're heading. This is a wonderful time also for reviewing whatever happened in your life since Jupiter entered Cancer last year. Because Jupiter in Cancer in your 9th house could have created that need for personal growth, personal development. Maybe you engaged in new studies, workshops. Maybe you changed your philosophy, life philosophy. And here with Mercury turning retrograde, this is a time for reviewing these patterns, experiences that you've been through, lessons as well, and a wonderful time for returning to any studies, for generally reviewing your path, for reviewing the direction that your life is heading. Are you satisfied, or does something need to change? If you're going to sign an important contract during Mercury retrograde, of course, it's not advisable, but if you have to make sure that you read the small print, that you're happy with all the terms and conditions, that you familiarize yourself with everything that needs to be checked prior to committing fully. Now, also on the same day as Mercury turns retrograde, we've got a full moon in Capricorn in the house opposing Cancer, so that's your 3rd house. So full moons in the 3rd house can be connected to some important news, revelations. I remember I found out something quite dramatic about something that someone said about me behind my back during a full moon in Capricorn, and that meant that my friendship kind of was ruined with that person. But so generally gossip, finding out something unexpectedly, some news, making decisions. So it's generally because the 3rd house deals with our mindset, our sharing, the information that we share, receive, decisions that we make. So for some, this could manifest as finding out some news, making decisions. For example, having something on your mind that needs to be addressed. Full moons bring us clarity. They illuminate things that were hidden from us, that we perhaps overlooked. And the 3rd house, of course, is connected to communication, information as well, our mindset thinking processes. So something here is reaching a turning point and needs to be addressed during this time. Maybe it's connected to people in your immediate environment, to your siblings, whatever it is. You get full visibility. So a chance to commit to whatever that comes up, to find solution to whatever that comes up, a chance for you to solve an issue that comes up, and to find clarity, to find closure. Now we end the month with Jupiter, the great benefic, moving into Cancer, and that's on the 30th of June. So that's how we close the month, the 12 months influence, and that's your 10th house, a transit I've been waiting for a long time. Finally happening, the 10th house, the house of career, professional life path, and personal growth in the public sphere, in the career context. 12 months influence, of course, we can't exclude another important events happening alongside Jupiter's transiting Leo, because we also have the South Node coming here. We also have an eclipse here happening here. So, and of course, the North Node will be in your 4th house. So beautiful, beautiful energies that will create that sense of growth and development. Things generally happening in your career sphere. So a beautiful time, a bit of a transit of visibility, public recognition. I've been watching people going through, clients, public figures who have been going through this transit over the years, and it's a really positive energy, of course. But we need to be grounded in the reality, and we need to know what we are capable of achieving during this time. And it's essential to be grounded in the reality. It's a very optimistic energy, eye-opening, and lots of possibilities for growth, for development, personal development, for visibility, for finding the right career, for moving in the right direction, for receiving new opportunities. So take advantage of this energy, really take advantage. For many Scorpios, this could mean career changes, big career changes, big career shifts, a big evolution in the career sense, because that's the cycle. That's the cycle that's here, and it's an important cycle. It only happens every 12 to 13 years with Jupiter in this area of the chart. So take advantage of these energies because they don't come very often. And this is definitely a time of growth, visibility, possibilities coming your way, a very exciting time of transformation, expansion. So on this note, thank you so much, Scorpios. Have a great month, and until the next time, bye for now.